There's something behind the house. These events happened 4 years ago. I'll start off by saying my name is Alan and my best friend's name is Matt. Matt and I had been friends for 7 years at this point. Matt's dad let us usually do whatever we wanted. I normally went to Matt's house and we partied every Friday night. We were in our early 20s in a shithole small town in southern Tennessee, so what better things were there to do besides getting messed up? The older Matt and I got, the more we realized we loved paranormal investigation shows. We shared experiences we had as children. The more we talked, the more we built up our egos as if we weren't scared of anything, so we decided we wanted to be future paranormal investigators. Matt's family moved across town, and I spent a day/evening helping them move. It was late spring, early summertime, so it was hot enough for all-night porch sitting. One evening, we decided to have a bonfire and drink a beer. Around 8 p.m., we put the fire out, and Matt's dad left. Being big guys, we had gotten hot, and we took our shirts off, so we were watching TV in the living room. We heard Matt's dog Sparky barking towards the back of the house. Sparky would bark at anything, so we were like, whatever. The barking got louder and more fear-based. We found Sparky in the bathroom, barking at the toilet. "This dumb dog," Matt said. Matt went back to the living room, and I followed. The barking continued to get louder, with anger and fear. I asked Matt, what the hell could he be barking at? We found him a few feet off the back door, snarling at it. We got a bit concerned, and thought, maybe this is something. I asked Matt if his dad knew anything about the house. He said no, but I'd brought my camera, so he cracked a smile and said, "Let's investigate." We went through the house, doing everything we could and everything we'd seen on the ghost shows on TV. We got nothing in the house. I said, "Sparky was barking at the back. Let's go out back." So we took our belts off and we held them like they'd be some kind of defensive weapon. When presented with a real-life situation, those egos we had shriveled up like raisins. I told him to take the back corner of the house and cover me as I ran to the unattached shed's back wall. It was about midnight, and the small backyard connected with the woods, so it was pitch black dark. I had gotten ballsy, so I started imitating that famous ghost hunter Zach Bagans. "If you have any balls, show yourself," I shouted. I then proceeded to say, "Come out, don't be a wimp." No sooner than the words came out of my lips, I felt a presence come upon me. It hit me with a force hard enough to knock my 6'4", 300-pound ass 10 feet back. At this point, Matt had already taken off running. I looked at him as he ran away, and then I jumped up, looking behind me. I saw the outline of a dark entity, at least my height, with glowing yellow eyes, looking at me out of the tree line. I was frozen as we made eye contact. It was as if it were trying to eat me through its eyes. I snapped out of the frozen state when I heard Matt shout, "Bro, run!" I hopped to my feet as it glided towards me and ran for the front door. I rounded the front porch so fast, I had to grab the support post to spin up on the porch. We hid in Matt's room till his dad returned home. We told his dad what happened, and he went on to tell us about the previous tenant and the land. He'd recently found out that not only did the guy that lived there before die in the back room, but he also practiced weird rituals on the land. We made it through the night, but I never again felt comfortable there. It was as if I was being watched, like a hunter watching its prey. They moved again not long afterwards, and I always try to avoid the road that house is on. The thing with the white eyes. From the age of 13 till the age of 16, I had several experiences that I could not explain. During that time, I lived in an old one-story gray house near a railroad, for that, as long as I can remember, has always been strange and never comfortable to be in. It always felt tense in there, whether it was the constant chaos that occurred in the house or the paranormal, who knows, but it just didn't help at all. I had heard footsteps a lot and heard whispers, but I always thought it was my imagination because I wasn't a believer in ghosts or anything like that. However, the thing in my room was not my imagination. It was 3:30 in the morning, the witching hour, and I was sleeping, but not too deep in a sleep because I was audibly aware. I came to find out by hearing a blood-curdling scream directly in my ear, as if someone put their mouth next to my ear and screamed into it. I jolted awake, thinking it was my niece or my mother who was sleeping in the living room just down the hallway. I sprang out of bed to check on them and found them both sleeping, despite the scream, and thought I was just losing my mind. My mom was snoring, so it's not like I could have heard my niece anyway. So I started to go back into my room, and when I walked through the bedroom door, I saw a black shadow figure sitting on my bed, looking at where I was sleeping. It turned and looked at me with pure white eyes. No iris or pupil, nothing. Just a fearless silhouette of a person with white eyes. I ignored it and tried to go to bed, only to have the thing stand up and walk towards me silently, meeting me halfway from my bed to the door. Being only 3 feet away, it stared at me, and I started to make the connection of what I was seeing as it started to fade away. I blinked, and it was gone. I started to feel a little on edge, as I had no idea what the hell I'd just seen, but tried to comfort myself, thinking it was nothing more than the dark. I tried to get back to sleep, but swore I heard scratching on the walls, and didn't want to freak myself out farther, so I didn't think about it. I drifted off. The following morning I asked my niece if she had a nightmare, and woke up screaming. She said no, I didn't have a nightmare. I told him what happened, excluding the seeing figures thing, to make myself not seem crazy. My mom said it was nice that I checked on her, and that if she'd been screaming, I would have heard her. I should have felt assured by this, but it just creeped me out more, because at this point, I could no longer think the figure was just shadows. I think it was a spirit, or a demon. In the coming years, I would find out I was not the only one who had experiences in the house. My sister claimed to have seen an old woman dart into her bedroom, and her face had been seen in the glass doors in front of the fireplace. She was the landlady's mother that lived in the house before we did, and she sadly died there. We'd since moved from the house, and all the activity had stopped from what I know. I sometimes wonder if it followed us to the new house, but the whole vibe of this place was different, and no sign of paranormal or anything otherwise. That thing with the white eyes was something that I never saw again. Usually I would say that I don't believe in demons, or that ghosts aren't real. I've lived my whole life by that motto. Anytime someone would tell me something paranormal or beyond belief, I would reciprocate with telling them it's not real. But this time, I experienced something beyond real. I walked into my room. I saw something that I'll never forget. A figure, a shape, an entity. Whatever it may have been, it left me alone after that night. But that doesn't mean that I forgot the effects that it left on me. This time, it wasn't something that I could just forget and chalk away to something that I knew was fake. It was real, beyond real to me. I walked up to it. I viewed it. It looked me in my eyes. All I can say is that without a doubt, I never want to experience that again.